Well, hey guys, welcome to Warner Robins. If you're coming into Warner Robins, you might want to stop by the Robins Chamber of Commerce to get a little bit of information about what goes on around here. This is a great place to find some resources on events that are coming up, places of interest, and all the good places that we have to offer for Warner Robins. But what they're not going to tell you about is the neighborhoods to avoid or the places that you might not want to go when you get here. Yeah, I know I'm probably cutting my own throat, but you know what? If you're going to trust me, then I need to be able to tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So in this video, we're going to go through a few neighborhoods that you might want to be aware of before you get here and find out you shouldn't have been there. And make sure to stay until the end, because the last one that I'm going to tell you about, it won't be what you think it is. So come on. So anybody in the local area that talks about MacArthur, they'll know exactly where you're talking about. So unfortunately, this is one of the areas that has a little bit of a higher crime rate. It's an older neighborhood, and it's not so bad as for the community as much as it is. It's an older neighborhood, and a lot of the houses have either been run down or been vacant, and the house is owned by somebody. They pay the taxes, but they don't want to sell the house, so there's not really much you can do about it. Now, there are a lot of local investors like myself that are steadily trying to buy these houses up, fix them up, and turn around and pass them on to a new family that will show them some love. But until we can get all the way through the neighborhood, you know, there's going to be a few that leave a little bit to be desired.
So the MacArthur subdivision is one of the older neighborhoods in Warner Robins, and just like any older neighborhood, it's eventually going to start attracting some of the rougher crowds. So we're talking about right here at Watson Boulevard and North Davis. You go up North Davis, go across Green Street, down Pleasant Hill, and then back around Watson Boulevard. This is going to be your MacArthur area that we're talking about.
So like I said, this is one of our older neighborhoods. Most of these houses are 2 1s and 3-bedroom, 1-bath. They were built in the 60s and 70s, so they need a lot of fixing up. They need a lot of love, and unfortunately the crime rate in these areas are higher than some of the rest of Warner Robins. But like I said, we're some of the investors in the area and outside the area are steadily trying to buy these houses up as they come available and try to fix them up and make them new for a new family to enjoy. So let's go to the next place. All right, so the next area that you might want to be aware of is ironically right around the Warner Robins Sheriff's Department or Warner Robins Police Station. The first mile of Watson Boulevard from Robins Air Force Base main gate out to about Commercial Circle, and then if you go north towards Indigo, up North Davis, between North Davis and 247, that whole area is been deemed one of the higher crime rate areas according to crimegrade.org.
All right, so the section that we're talking about is going to be right here where City Hall is and the Warner Robins Police Department. So you've got Young Avenue here out to Houston Road, or Hawkinsville Road, sorry. All the way down 1st and 2nd Street past Greg's Mexican restaurant here. And then a couple blocks back, Robbins Drive. And then around to Commercial Circle again, which is right here. So this whole area is the second part that we're talking about that's having an issue. Now, of course, this over here is Robins Air Force Base. I don't know why they've got it in red. They don't have any kind of crime over there that is reportable. Usually just people stealing candy out of the lobby bowls.
So it's really, if you look through the area, it doesn't look as bad as as they make it out to be. The main thing is that area is, of course, around Watson Boulevard, the first mile, just that little bit south of Warner Robins or Robins Parkway, is the oldest area of Warner Robins. And of course, the older parts of any town are usually going to get aged, they're going to get forgotten. People want to go out to the newest and greatest, and the old sections get left behind. Now, the other factor that's contributing to this is these areas have been mixing residential zoning with commercial zoning. So if you've got a house right next to a warehouse or right next to some kind of an industrial business, then of course house values are going to go down. So anytime you mix commercial zoning with residential zoning, residential is usually going to lose out. Property values are going to go down, and because of that, usually those areas are notorious for having crime rates kind of increase. As a matter of fact, I'm in this section right now, getting the sun in my eyes, but I'm actually in this section right now, and we're actually in the parking lot of City Hall. So, and it's about late in the afternoon, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and you hear how loud it is, you see how busy it is. It's not that bad. So, but the reports show what the reports show, and this is designated one of the areas that have the higher crime rates for Warner Robins. And also, if you're in Warner Robins and you know certain areas that you know that you don't want to be in, make your comment below and make sure to share it with the rest of the group so everybody will have an idea. I know this is kind of shooting myself in the foot and shooting Warner Robins in the foot a little bit, but bringing these things to light is how things get changed. So make a comment below if you have other areas that you think would need to be added to this list. Now, as I promised, the last section that we were talking about to avoid isn't so much the crime rates or the people involved, it's just the geology underneath the ground. Double-gated subdivision is an area that actually has kaolin clay under the ground, and in certain areas it comes so far up into the surface that it makes it real easy for grounds to shift and move, and it's caused a lot of foundation problems and a lot of issues with houses in the area that are around that belt of kaolin. Let me show you.
All right, so if we're looking at a map of Warner Robins, if you look up here, this is Robins Air Force Base and the Air Museum up here in the top right. Now, if you go down Highway 247, which is also 129, and then go west on I-96, you will come to a road called Mount Zion. Now, Mount Zion is kind of where it starts at. So if we draw a line from around the top of Mount Zion across right below Moody Road Storage, and then right down through here on the bottom of Mount Zion across Moody Road, there is a belt of kaolin clay right through here that when it rains it will shift and move, and it causes foundation cracks, it causes houses to move and shift. So if you go through certain neighborhoods where the kaolin is actually higher up and closer to the surface of the ground, not down deep, it's kind of higher up, those areas will shift and move. Of course, it's not 100%, but these are areas that are going to be highly susceptible to foundation problems. I know there's a house right here above Tidwell that was recently just rehabbed last year. They had to put an extensive amount of money into the foundation, and a previous supervisor of mine actually lives here, and she just had her foundation redone after about 20 years, but it was reinforced properly to begin with. They already knew about it, and they were able to build the house to accommodate it. So again, it's not 100%, but this area is going, if you're going to buy a house in this area, make sure that you have an inspector that is very familiar with foundations and foundation cracks, because they're going to have to be looking at the foundation extremely closely in this area if you're going to buy one that's not already got issues. Well, there you have it, guys. One of Robin's little skeletons and secrets that nobody wants to talk about. So I hope this video helps you out. Again, if you want to buy in these areas, it's perfectly fine. But there again, knowledge is power. So knowing what you're getting into is half the battle. So if you have any questions, make sure to contact me. And if you live in Warner Robins and you have areas that you know about that have certain issues, make sure to make some comments below and let everybody else know about them. There again, we're all a big community, and we want to make sure to educate each other and let everybody know the good, the bad, and the ugly, for better or for worse. I'm Chris, your real estate problem solver, and I'll talk to you on the next video.